people. Erica, thumbs up. Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez, presiding over the 210th District Court criminal docket for May 17, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we're streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Marufo, would you call our next case, please?
Judge, on page 1, in cause number 2018-0D05116, State of Texas versus Sarah Hernandez. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the State of Texas. Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
Marcelo Rivera with the Public Defender's Office on behalf of Ms. Sarah Hernandez, Your Honor.
Good morning. We are here for a final hearing plea deadline. Let me ask, because I know that there's a motion for continuance. I may have already signed it because it was agreed, but I'd like to have a status. What are we working on? Because her case was kind of queued up in the trial sense before COVID and our appeal, I guess. Mr. Rivera, are we working on, what are we working on? Without, all the details, but.
Well, Your Honor, I've requested multiple times, what we're looking for in terms of a plea. Mm-hmm. And otherwise, then it's if the state can't do that, then our client has indicated that she wants to go to trial.
What I would like to do, again, I figured that's what you all were working on. I didn't know if there was anything else outstanding in terms of, I guess, crossing all our T's and dotting our I's before trial. But have you all been able to discuss maybe a reset date? Because if we do end up going to trial, this is one, the court has a little bit of scheduling leeway for 2022. This is one that if I set it, I really want to set it when we will not be anticipating any continuances and when I can make sure that you're top of the list. Just the day, the age of the case kind of gets us there, but she's not in custody, and I don't want to schedule it at a time where I have some folks that are in custody and need to go, and we have to pass it. So
I had suggested to Ms. King, I'm set to go to trial next week. Going to be out for part of June for Rusty Duncan.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm really looking at, Mr. Rivera, is probably more in the August-September range, because I know our June-July is absolutely nuts, and I really mean that.
Yes.
And so,
and that's what I was going to suggest was I had spoken to Ms. King. If August works better for me, the second half, because I'll be taking my son back to college sometime before the middle of the month. Otherwise, then September. So late August, September is what works best.
Since we're not super swamped this morning, give me a second so I can jump into our calendars and maybe I can just look at. So we're looking late August. Let's see. Ooh. Okay. I have a very good date in terms of it's not packed, but it's not a very good date if you had a plan for the holiday of Labor Day.
I don't.
Okay. So let's do that. Let's do that, because let me tell you, if September 2nd, Friday, September 2nd, I can literally put you there, make you special, not send anything else. And if you all work it out, great. We have a little bit of breathing room for the holiday. And if not, we go to trial and we just deal with, we might have a few more absences on panels, things like that. Let's do that. Let me ask you, do you think you need more than 2 60-member panels?
I don't think so.
Okay. So then we'll do it for, let me look at something else.
Judge,
Mándeme.
you have the judicial conference that following week?
That's why it's open. Well, do you all care? I mean, let me look at something. Okay, thank you, Myrna. That's why it was so open. I could do the 9th as well, but again, I'll be out. Let's see, 16th. I know I've put a few on there. No. How about the 16th? You all want to do the grito?
That works.
Or you all will have voices after the grito on the 15th? How does your schedule look, Mr. Rivera?
I have another trial set for that day in the 346th, but I don't expect it to go.
Okay. So let's start with the 16th. And then, I don't know if this is helpful or not. Well, would you all, my only concern, I was thinking maybe for the second, if we had to get a visiting judge, my only concern is we might be low on visiting judges, because if they're also at the annual conference, I don't know. Tell me, do you all have a preference?
I don't, Your Honor.
I don't either.
Okay, let's do the 16th. I'm not even going to give you a backup. We'll just leave it at the 16th. I could give you a backup of the 23rd. If anything comes up, but those 2 weeks are really, September is actually looking pretty good. So we'll do the 16th. Mr. Marufo will need to request 2 panels in the courtroom of 60.
Okay, Judge.
Unless you see that commissioners is open. If we do, then let's see if we can snag. It might be open. Maybe it's too far down the road. It's them, for them to have taken it, but we'll do one of the 2. Okay, folks, I'll try and get you one shot instead of 2 panels, just because it's a little more tedious. And Myrna, that'll be specially set. Yes, Mr. Rivera?
The 16th is open, Judge.
For commissioners?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's pick it. Let's take it. And then if you all resolve it ahead of time, what we will need is September 16th. So I will need at least, I'm actually not going to bring you all in. I'm going to bring you in for a final judges in August 16th at 9 a.m. Let's think of that as our target date for DAs. If you're going to change anything on the rec, let's use that, because my thought is if I'm getting commissioner's court for that date and you all end up not going, I would hate to wait till the end. I'd like to set something else where I could utilize the space. Just FYI, I know that's not your concern, but it's helpful to us. Thanks, guys. The order granting was already there. I saw that. And if anything comes up in the interim, you need a hearing, just let me know.
Thank you, Judge.
Take care, guys. Thank you, Mr. Rivera. All right, who's next?
Staying on page 1, Judge.
Mm-hmm.
In cause number 2020-0D05259 and 2020-0D03792 and 2020-0D04282 and 2019-0D03258 and 2019-0D03256 and 2019-0D03254 and 2019-0D03752 and 2019-0D03251, State of Texas versus Isaac Martinez. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Ms. Caballero, are you there? I thought I saw her. There she is.
Sorry, Your Honor.
That's okay. Are you good? Are you in another hearing?
No, I'm not. I'm with a client. I'm
Oh,
here.
sorry. Okay, we're on Isaac Martinez. Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all of the cases are set for final hearing, plea deadline. Mr. Martinez is in custody. Ms. Caballero, are you waiving his presence for the final hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And so we have plenty of cases here. What are we doing?
Okay, so I tried to reach Ms. King yesterday, but I guess she was busy. My client is willing to plead to everything but the aggravated.
Okay, so do I have two? I have 2 ag robberies, right?
Right.
Okay. Is that it? Just 2? What is the rec, Ms. King?
Your Honor, it's going to be actually kind of the opposite. It's 10 years deferred on both ag robbery and the restitution of $1,500 for dismissal for 2022, last for 4262, and dismiss 5 of the burglary of a building cause numbers.
Okay. Ms. King, is that a new rec?
It is a new rec, and I have posted a portal on all the cases.
Okay, so Your Honor, my client had given me the reverse instructions. He is at the annex. We had gone to see him, I think I don't know, 2 weeks ago. And I'd have to go out and extend this to him.
Sure.
And I do plan to go to the annex this week.
What we'll do is I will reset the final hearing plea deadline. I mean, is it fair to say there's really good hopes that there will be an agreement, but if not, I get it, we'll need a trial. What I want to do is extend, push the final hearing plea deadline back 2 weeks.
Okay,
And if we have some type of agreement, either those stated here today or some deviation of that,
Okay.
great, and we'll get the plea set. But if not, then I want to be able in 2 weeks to really say, when are we going to try?
I
these
understand.
cases? Okay,
I understand.
and
Ms.
and
King,
Myrna,
please.
we'll make that at the 3 p.m. setting, okay, so we can have Mr. Martinez here.
Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Ms. King, would you consider our offer?
Nope. But I can
No.
call you. There's
I
some,
don't think he's a good probationer. I don't think that's a good idea.
then I can post a time rec on portal.
Okay, what would that be?
Let me,
I think the
Well-
other one was 6 years.
yes, I believe so. I can, is the number that you sent me, can I call you on that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
I will.
thank you, ladies.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank you all. We'll
Bye-bye.
come back in 2 weeks, see where we
Okay.
are. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. All right. And yes, I think at 3 p.m., Myrna, please. All right. Who's next?
Bottom of page 3, Judge.
Mhm.
Because number 2019-0D0-6183, State of Texas versus Rosabel Acuna Saldivar. Announcement of council, please.
Well, it came for the state of Texas.
Daniel Avalar for the defendant, Your Honor. And I
Morning.
believe, yeah, there's Mr. Yanez.
Good morning. Final judges conference. We have a jury trial on June 17th. How are we doing on this one?
Your Honor, I believe this is gonna remain on the trial track due to immigration issue.
Okay.
Judge, I'm kind of, on this particular case, I've been, unlike other cases, I've been sort of in the behind the scenes, Your Honor. So
Mhm.
I'm just covering for Derek, and I know Mr.
Right.
Yanez can speak for this case, Your Honor.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mhm.
I put in a new request for rec on portal,
Mhm.
and I don't know if the prosecution has had a time to review it, but I've asked Mr. Salcedo to give me a call on this one.
Ms. King, did you review it?
Yes, Your Honor, that was a rec that was conveyed to me, I believe when Mr. Yanez was first got on this case,
Mhm.
and the state has declined that offer.
Okay, and I heard Mr. Yanez reference Mr. Salcedo, and since I see he's here, Mr. Salcedo, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay, what, have you seen Mr. Yanez's rec, or have you been in touch with him regarding their counteroffer, I would imagine?
I've looked at the rec, Your Honor. I will be calling Mr. Yanez later on today once we're done.
Okay, since that seems to be kind of in the works, let me just tell you now that, for everyone, that I'm not bringing you back until our final hearing plea deadline. And if what I think is happening with that June 17th trial date is really happening, you all are likely to go to trial if there's no agreement. So just FYI, I know we had another case that's specially set, but I think it's resolved. Wow. So I don't want to have to bring you back because I know it's just, more time you have to spend here. And if you all are not going to be in agreement, be ready for trial, okay?
Got it,
And,
Judge.
Mr.
Thank you,
Yanez,
guys.
Mr. Yanez, can you text me what that rec is, just so I can write in my notes and that it was declined?
Nah,
Thanks,
I'll call you. Yeah.
bro. Appreciate, or whatever you gotta do. Thanks,
All
man.
right.
Later.
Well,
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks,
Thank-
guys. Y'all are excused if you don't have anything else. All right, who's next?
Page 4, Judge.
Mm-hmm.
Because number 2021-0D0-1580, State of Texas versus Persil Juan. Announcement of council, please.
Well, it came for the state of Texas.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joshua Spencer, on behalf of Mr. Vaughn.
And Mr. Spencer, your client is in custody. I'm a little hesitant to proceed without him being here, being that there's a motion for continuance. Can you tell me a little bit about what's going on with Mr. Vaughn's case?
Yes, Judge. I've only recently received basically a final report from my investigator. And so there's a couple of additional witnesses I do need to interview. But at this point, Judge, I need a little bit more time just to finish my investigation and have a little bit more time to also negotiate with Ms. King on this case. I don't expect this to be a trial. But I'm also specially set on Thursday on an older case, but it is a misdemeanor.
So the bigger concern I have, Mr. Spencer, I'm not sure if you're aware, I'm not sure if Odyssey reflects this. Your client is writing the court almost weekly, every other day, and they're not very nice letters, okay? And so I don't know, I mean, is he in agreement with the motion for continuance?
Judge, my client, I don't know if he has I've talked to him a few times. I have not talked to him about a continuance, but I have talked to him a few times, and has this, I don't think it's a competency issue, but he's disillusioned on how this case is moving forward, especially after I've done my investigation. And I've already confronted him on some issues. So he just needs, he's special. So he's a little, slow in understanding. But to be honest, Judge, I have not talked to him about the continuance. No.
So based on that, then that just kind of confirms for me. Let me see, Mr. Marufo or Myrna, how can you contact the jail and see if we can get Mr. Vaughn for this afternoon at 3 o'clock? Sometimes the jail will really, be helpful in that way, but I think it's a stretch.
Okay, Judge, I'll contact him.
So anticipate, Mr. Spencer, I hear what you're saying. What my concern is that he seems to be very antsy. And I have to tell you that some of the things that are in those letters are being looked at. I'll tell you that. So I'm not sure what is on. Yeah, it looks like most of them are on Odyssey. So feel free to look at them. But
okay.
He is. I understand what you're saying. He's not an issue of competency, but maybe just not understanding and getting impatient because yes, I know he's been in custody for a while, for over a year now. And so know that after this afternoon, if we can get him in this afternoon, it's going to be a quick turnaround. I'm looking at putting you in the 17th trial setting. I mean, it's not going to be a long continuance, okay? Because he's just, I suspect he's not going to be in agreement with the continuance, okay? But I know what you're telling me. And so we'll just have to go from there.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Plan on being here at 3 o'clock. I'm not going to ask you to stick around, Mr. Spencer, unless you want to see if we have a response from the jail, but I am not going to grant the continuance until I know that, number one, he hasn't been informed of the continuance. And, maybe if he knows the turnaround time, maybe that'll be helpful. But I certainly want him present.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Spencer. Do you have anything else this morning?
Not this morning, Judge. I do have a bond hearing this afternoon at 3 o'clock, so I'll be on the docket at 3.
Okay,
yes,
great. Hopefully we can get him. Thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Judge. Bye-bye.
I failed to ask Ms. King, what's the rec?
Your Honor, it's going to be 8 TDC.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Okay. Next case.
Judge.
No attorneys? Oh, there we have Mr. Estrada.
Some are running late. They're still in other courts. But I do have Mr. Oscar Iwara. He's here on a review hearing.
Okay, let's bring him in. Good morning, Mr. Iwara. Let me just see. Carla, are you there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you covering this case?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so let's go ahead and call it.
In cause number 2019-0D00586, State of Texas versus Oscar Ibarra. Announcement of council, please.
Go again for the state of Texas.
And Mr. Oscar Iwara is present remotely anyway, and we're scheduled for a review hearing. I did look at Mr. Ibarra's case. He did his days. Let me see, and I think I reviewed the report from probation. Ms. Pineda, anything, I think there was some curfew discussion in the case summary. Was there anything else? I mean, he's been on track, hasn't he?
Yes, Your Honor. That is the only thing that has that his probation officer did report on the updated summary. Just a few issues, circumstances where the curfew has been per se in violation as per the GPS on the monitor. On the report, it does state where Mr. Ibarra has told his officer why he's been out of his residence.
I read that. Yeah, I read that. You know, that doesn't really give me a lot of heartache, Mr. Ibarra. I mean, it sounds to me, are you still working? Mr. Ibarra? Mr. Ibarra, can you hear me? Mr. Ibarra, can you hear us? Mr. Ibarra, it appears that you're connected. So I don't know if you need to connect to audio. Mr. Ibarra? While we're waiting, yeah.
On a phone number that's here, but
he can't, he says no puedo, he responded that he can't hear. Oh, there he goes. Okay, so did he speak Spanish before? I thought he spoke English before. Okay, now unmute, Mr. Ibarra. Unmute.
Okay, I got it. Sorry about that.
Okay. So you speak English, right? That was my memory. I got
mi primer lenguaje pues es el español.
Do you understand it? Have you understood
sí
everything?
Todo.
Have you understood? No, I need you to speak in English, and if not, I need to get you an interpreter.
Oh no, yes, I understand everything.
Okay, beautiful. So yes. I guess you weren't able to hear. Because it didn't look like you were. It looked like you were connected. I did receive a report. You did your time, right? You did your order.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that's all good. There was something referenced in the summary regarding the curfew. This is what I want to know, Ms. Pineda. There were, I think, was there just a couple of skips, or has he been compliant on the monitor? My questions are, is he been compliant on the monitor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
There were some late ones, but they were passed. They were negative. So.
And they weren't like really far removed from the actual time. Mr. Ibarra, are you still working?
I'm not working right now, Your Honor.
What happened? You were working last time.
I know, pues con todo esto, with all this that's going on.
No, Mr. Ibarra. For the record, I need you to speak in English. If you cannot communicate to the court in English, I will get you an interpreter. All right, now go back.
Because everything that's going on, I lost my job and yeah, but I'm already looking for another job.
Okay, so I need you to stay on track. I'm sorry you lost your job. It sounds like you're already in the process maybe to find other employment. In the interim, Ms. Pineda, I am not concerned so much with that curfew. What I am concerned about is the monitor compliance. So we're going to rescind the curfew, the condition on curfew. So you don't have a curfew, Mr. Iwara, but
Thank
if
you,
you're
Your
not
Honor.
working, if you're not working, I better not start seeing, that you're missing on the monitor because I'll bring you back. The other
Yes, Your Honor.
thing, I was concerned about the financials. If we can do a financial screen of Mr. Iwara, I then, based on that, I think I'll go back and lower his probation fees retroactive to day one, because you're paying $60 a month, right?
Yes.
Okay, I don't need a financial. We're just gonna reduce his probation fees from $60 to $25 a month, retroactive to day one. So that should help with the outstanding fees. I know you've been good on other areas, but if you lost your job, you're probably not in a great financial position. But let me
Thank
tell you,
you,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Ibarra, I'm not gonna bring you back unless probation tells me something different. I don't want you to get off track. When does he term?
Not until September 2023.
23. So look, you have a little over a year, right?
Yes.
Just stay in compliance. If you have any issues, communicate them to probation and they will communicate them to me. But if I'm hearing things that you're not compliant from probation, I don't want to go down that road again. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The driving, you still may not operate a motor vehicle. If
Okay.
at some point you want to make that request, you got to go through probation, tell me the circumstances, and I'll look at of allowing you to drive. Know that there is no way I will allow you to drive unless you have a valid driver's license and insurance, okay?
Sounds good, Your Honor.
All right. I don't want to have to see you again, Mr. Ibarra. Go get a job and take care of your responsibilities, including your probation, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
Take
great
care.
day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Who's next?
Up on page 6, Judge.
Okay.
In cause number 2020-0D0-6122, State of Texas versus Dylan Andrew Rivera, announcement of council, please.
Well, what came for the state of Texas?
Cesar Lozano on behalf of Mr. Rivera.
Okay, this is a final judges conference. Did you all need to go on the record with anything?
I don't.
I posted a rec on portal.
Was it different? Is it any different from the previous one?
It is not different. I just included the DWI second that is pending in the misdemeanor court, and there is no restitution.
So what's the rec?
The rec is going to be 10 deferred, but it's 2 years. Let me see. Sorry, 2 years straight for the DWI second.
Okay, folks, you have a trial on June 10th. So how far along? I mean, these are all 2020 cases. Do we have, what's the warrant for? Is it ours?
It's
No?
from the CC4 case, Judge.
Okay. So, I mean, is there a lot to work on? What is the misdemeanor? Let me go in there. What is the misdemeanor case set for? Status hearing next week. They don't even have a trial set. Okay. County court. Okay.
Your Honor, I believe we were just waiting for a confirmation on the restitution to determine the time for this case.
All right. Well, you all are not coming in until the week of your trial. So please, if there's an agreement, get us the paperwork ahead of time so we can take care of it.
Judge, and also there may be something else pending. It just depends on another plea that we're waiting on.
Oh, like what else is pending? Like, what are we talking
Like maybe a continuance.
Why? What is this related case? This 62. So he pled to the 6260 case back in July. Yeah. Why are you going to need a continuance, you think?
Well, no, it's unrelated to that, Judge. It's just if It's more on if we get rid of, what's that other one's name? The plea for today, then we were hoping to leave to that CLE.
Mhm. Okay, but
But if it doesn't, then
do y'all have an agreement on this guy?
do we have?
Do you have an agreement? I mean, is there a workable rec here? Because if
Judge,
there is,
the problem has always been on this case that our client has said that if he were to accept anything, it would only be a misdemeanor. He's adamant that there was no aggravating situation in this case.
okay, so if you think you're gonna ask for continuance, file it before June 7th, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Gracias. Thank you. All right, who's next?
I have Mr. Vega here for a review hearing, Judge.
Mr. Who?
Mr. Mark de la Vega, page 5.
Okay, go ahead. While we're waiting for Mr. De La Vega to connect, do we have, did Mr. Andrade check in this week?
Yes, Judge, he did.
He did?
Yes,
Okay.
Judge.
All right, there's Mr. De La Vega. Mr. De La Vega, can you unmute?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Hold on. Calling cause number 2019-0D00939, State of Texas versus Mark De La Vega. Mr. De La Vega, we're here for a review hearing, but I think we're waiting on your probation officer. Carla, do we have an ETA on that person?
I apologize, Judge. I just let him know. Let me let him know.
So I did review the case summary on this one. Do you know, Carla, were there some additional concerns that weren't on the case summary? Did you
No,
get
Your
it?
Honor, the
No?
only thing from the last summary was, I believe there was an alcohol violation.
Oh, I don't recall seeing that. Let me see. Do you show when it was?
I apologize. It was a positive oh, no, hold on. I'm sorry, Judge. Hold on. I'm getting I apologize. Hold on.
I feel like I did not see anything on his. Since our last setting.
Your Honor, if I may, I did have some positives that I addressed with Mr. Ulloa, and I mentioned to him that I had been trying to get a new machine from Smart Start. It did have, I've been having countless problems with it for the past 2 months. They have not been able to.
Mr. De La Vega, like what kind of problems? What do you tell me what you're talking about?
It did do 2 positives, and I blew a few times, and I was eating a salad, and so I blew another 3 or 4 times, and it came out good after I rinsed my mouth and whatnot. I keep it almost close to dead because it freezes constantly, and it'll freeze and it won't let me test until the battery runs out. But the charging port is also messed up. So when I get it to charge, that I'm able to get it charging, I try to keep it charging, but then it freezes. So then I'm not able to reset it. And they try sending signals with Smart Start. And the face not detected, that's always been an issue with it. This is about the 6th machine that I've had, and I have an appointment today. at 2 to exchange the machine again, but it was like a 2-month waiting period that they're not able to, they say that the pandemic and they can't get machines like they used to. Last Tuesday, I did schedule an appointment for the day after, for Wednesday, with Lifesaver, just in case Mr. Uyal was going to bring up, see if we could get it to another provider, but I am getting a new machine today.
Okay. Mr. Ulloa, now that he's here, did you have, I think Mr. De La Vega was giving me some of the update. I know you might have come in the middle of that. Any concerns?
Your Honor, I did a follow-up with Smart Start. They couldn't give me a backup of the violations, but I do see a constant issue with the device, especially with the camera, Your Honor. I did call them and I did confirm, as Mr. De La Vega was telling you, Your Honor, they do have an appointment for today to swap the machine. But as Mr. De La Vega did mention, I did provide him with the other providers to see if he could get another appointment with another company, because I do see that there's a problem with the device, and the Smart Start people couldn't give me any facts or backup on the device. At the contrary, they only consider, as Mr. De La Vega just mentioned, that they do not have any device right now, that they will try to do their effort. I even tried to ask for a sooner appointment so we could come into this court with some difference on the reports. And they couldn't help us out with that, Your Honor. So I will ask at this point if the judge will consider hopefully waiting to the swap of the machine or getting moved to another company to see if the actual problem is with Mr. De La Vega. Now, on the part of the treatment, Your Honor, he has been attending. He has actually asked our counselors to attend more often because he does feel that has been helping him. And with that said, also Mr. De La Vega has choose to go his own way and getting AA meetings in the private sector.
Okay. So those are all positive things. Now, Mr. De La Vega is still does not have permission to drive, right?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. De La Vega, it sounds to me, look, what you're telling me about the monitor is, I'm not saying that they all are having issues, but they are having issues with supply. So the fact that you were proactive in getting that appointment today, that's great. Hopefully they are able to swap you out with a machine that functions and we can go from there. And from there forward, Mr. Law, then I am not going to require any further reviews unless I hear of issues then with the newer monitor. If we're not able to swap it out within Smart Start, absolutely, Mr. Ulloa, let's find another provider. There is just, Mr. De La Vega, a lot of issues right now with the monitors. So I don't want to tell you, like, don't go with Smart Start again, because if you have that appointment today, you're lucky. Go get your new machine, get one that works. You term in November next year. Unless I hear from probation that you are not compliant at some point, I'm going to assume that going forward, you're going to get your machine squared away. You're going to stay compliant, but don't be driving. If you need to drive, and you need to ask the court for permission to do so, and I will only grant that if you have a valid driver's license and insurance. But I got to see some compliance first, okay? I'm very happy to hear that you are taking the initiative on the treatment, because if you feel you need it and it's benefiting you, that's positive. That's positive for me. So that's all good news. Mr. Ulloa, I know you will give him information in the event that today's swap out is not does not work, or if he gets another defective machine, and you do have the court's permission to seek out another device through another provider. What I will want then is an update from you, okay? I do not want Mr. De La Vega going any significant amount of time without a monitor, okay?
Very well, Your Honor. And I did explain to Mr. De La Vega that we will not be able to return one before having already the other one in place. With that said, Your Honor, as I mentioned before, he has been upgraded to IOP and he still accepted the treatment, and beautiful. He will be participating on that.
I hope it's really helpful for you, Mr. De La Vega. It sounds like you're on track. Please, any issues you have, communicate them to probation and we address them here before, we get violations or anything like that. I wish you well. Mr. Law, do you have anything else?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. De La Vega. Good luck.
Thanks, Judge. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you, Mr. Ulloa, for logging on.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor. May I be
right.
excused?
Yes, sir. Who's
Thank you.
next?
Have a good day.
I have Mr. Flores, Judge.
Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Missy Babe. Mr. Flores, you're connected now?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, let's get started.
In cause number 2018-0D0-0595, State of Texas versus Michael J. Flores. Announcement of council, please.
Roller King for the state of Texas.
Deborah Ibabe, Adult Probation Department.
Mr. Flores is appearing remotely. We are scheduled for a review hearing today. The only notation I have is that we still have the ACOP outstanding, but I remember there being a medical concern. Missy Babe, can you give the court an update, please?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. I did request for Mr. Flores to provide me that information, in which he did provide it to me. He continued to go to medical care, and sometimes he goes straight to the hospital, Your Honor. In the case summary, you can read the information about Mr. Flores. I don't know if you want me to disclose that, since this is.
When does he term?
We still have him on probation until 3/12/2023. So we still have time for the COP, Your Honor. And he's been
Okay.
reporting with me on a monthly basis. He went and tested negative on the last month UA. Besides the medical problems and some of the skip tests because of the nature of the medical condition, there's no other problems, Your Honor.
Okay, so I am going to hold off in terms of, I know I was looking at asking for those 10 days ACOP. We're going to come back in 6 months, Mr. Flores. I need you to remain otherwise 100% compliant with your probation, and we'll do a review in 6 months and see if anything changes. Okay, thank you for appearing today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm. All right. And I think, yes, ma'am. And I think Mr. Andrade, let's go ahead and bring him in because Mr. Macias is here, and then we can get to the other cases.
You're good to log out, Mr. Flores.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ibarra. Thank you.
I'll keep you calling a little bit. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Ms. King.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Andrade. Go ahead, Mr. Marufo.
In cause number 2021-0D0-2386, State of Texas versus David Andrade. Announcement of council, please.
Roller King for the state of Texas.
And Myrna Pages from Mr. Andrade, ready, Your Honor.
And Mr. Andrade is appearing remotely. Good morning, Mr. Andrade. Mr. Macias, give me an update, please.
Your Honor, last week we had a hearing, go over Mr. Andrade's reports over the Lifesaver mobile device. We had another hearing because we had quite a bit of tests which were in the dark. Unfortunately, last week I informed everyone here that we had 10 misses on the mobile device. It seems to me that there is a pattern here. I did send dates to on my summary. Seems to me that the pattern is that Mr. Andrade misses on a Sunday. He'll miss what's called 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., and sometimes even to the next day. Out of these 10 misses, there are 3 Sundays here. I was looking over a new pull report to make sure that everything was still confirmed, and I actually have the 2 more times that Mr. Andrade missed after after the hearing, which Mr. Andrade unfortunately did not log on to. I guess he didn't get time where he wasn't able to log in. He did call me to report. I informed him that there was 10 misses and stuff. I told him that what days they were and stuff. He needed to make those. I also informed him that he needed to make sure that he had a light on at all times. One of the things is I told him that to go ahead and remove a cap, he would wear a cap under the light, and that still would not show his face. He has been better about showing his face, but we still need to address these actually 10 misses, but they're actually 12.
Ms. Pages, have you had a chance to speak with your client?
I have, Judge. My client is indicating that he is using the machine. He's having still issues with the machine. And my concern, Judge, obviously is the reliability of these machines, especially after hearing the previous case that I wasn't on. But it just seems like there's all kinds of issues with these machines, and to sanction somebody, to send somebody to prison based on a machine that is, seems to me that it's not reliable, and representatives from the companies cannot seem to provide even the probation officers, like Mr. Ulloa just testified earlier that he can't even get a representative on, to basically tell him what's going on with these machines. And then there aren't enough machines to go around that work. I know Mr. Andrade has had multiple machines. I think this is his third one. I may be wrong on that, but he's had several machines. He did indicate that he's enrolled in alcohol counseling, and he's willing to let the court know where that counseling is, but he is trying, Judge. And so my only concern, Your Honor, obviously is the reliability of these machines. And Mr. Andrade is here, Judge, so you can definitely question him and ask him yourself, Judge, as to what's going on.
So there's a few things. Here's where I am. Have we made any efforts, Mr. Macias, to contact the provider? Has Mr. Andrade been instructed to do that? Anything of that nature? This is what I'm willing to do at this point. Before I go into assuming this is Mr. Andrade's unwillingness to test properly, is to arrange for him to swap out his machine or have it reviewed by Smart Start to see if there are any issues. Now, you wearing a cap, Mr. Andrade? No.
I'm not, yes.
Whatever it
No.
is, I need the image to be clear. Now, if it's an issue with the machine, I'm more than happy to give you the benefit of the doubt on that, but that means that there should be an active effort to go to the provider and switch out that monitor if it's faulty in any way, okay?
Yeah.
Mr. Macias, if it is the case, then yeah, because of the limitations, I guess, that all the providers are having, I don't have a problem if we maybe look at other providers, if that's the issue. Okay, I'm going to give you 30 days to do that. If there's a problem with the monitor that is making, I don't know, making it too dark or making the reporting inconsistent or whatever it is, I'm going to give you 30 days to square that away.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
First of all, this machine is, I believe Miss Pages is mistaken. This machine is the Lifesaver mobile device, not the Smart Start mobile device. Second of all, this machine, there doesn't seem to be any issues with it.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that Mr. Andrade in the past was blowing in the dark is because he didn't have the lights on. And we had made him aware of it, and he was turning on the lights. And since last week, we haven't had any tests where it's in the dark. He's turning on the light and it shows his face. So there's nothing wrong with this machine. These tests that we have that are misses, they're straight out misses. They're not tests where Mr. Andrade either blows early or blows late. They're flat out.
So why are you
misses.
missing, Mr. Andrade? Why are you skipping? It's a Sunday, right? That tends to be when most of them are. Why are we not testing on Sunday?
No, like he said, this past time, he said I missed another two. I have not missed any. I didn't miss any other two. I don't know. And also, when I have a picture when the other machine, when I first got it, they took a picture. And there was a light, and it was daytime and everything. That I have a copy there from the provider, and it's all black. And I asked him why. He said they're having trouble with the cameras of the machines, and they said they're going to come up with some that have flashes. I understand, and I've been getting under a light bulb, and then sometimes they
Mr.
still come
Andrade,
out
hold
dark.
on a second.
Yeah.
So are you telling me that on Sundays, and I think they were listed at the previous hearing, I don't remember if he was here or not. Are you telling me you're testing and somehow that machine is not logging it in on Sundays?
Well, I've missed one or two, ma'am. Sometimes I'm asleep and I'm real tired. I'm working, and I'll tell you, I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking and anything. I haven't drank since last year. I haven't touched alcohol. And
How hold on, Mr. Andrade. Mr. Macias, how often is he testing?
He's testing 4 times a day, Your Honor.
Look, whether it's an issue with your monitor or it's an issue with you, I'm giving you 30 days. If it's an issue with the monitor, if you're saying, if Mr. Macias is getting a report that's saying you're skipping and you're actually testing, then you need to go to the provider and get that machine looked at or swapped out for one that is not going to present that problem.
Yes, ma'am.
If it's you just deciding that Sundays you just don't feel like testing, you're going to get an immediate order committing you to jail for 10 days.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
understand me, Mr. Andrade? I've never gotten, look, I've had reports from probation from the day that you pled that there's just always this difficulty or misunderstanding with what you have to do. And I've given you the benefit of the doubt. But I'm telling you right now, if you're trying to fool us and be like, well, I just, you know, it's more important that I sleep on a Sunday because I'm really tired and I'm not going to test on Sundays, well, then you can go do some jail time. I don't want to go there. I see you making the efforts, but you have to understand, Mr. Macias and probation are this court. And when they're telling you to do something, that's coming from me. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
We have a review in 30 days. I know Mr. Macias will stay on top of the testing. He is your resource as long, if you have any questions in dealing with your provider. Hey, if it's a faulty machine, we need to change it out. But if it's a faulty probationer, we'll deal with that too. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Andrade, get back to work. Ms. Pages, thank you very much. We'll come back in 30 days, Mr. Macias.
Okay, Your Honor.
I appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Bye.
All right. Who's next?
We're back on page 4, Judge, middle of page 4.
Mhm.
In cause number 2020-0D0-3206, State of Texas versus Armando Gonzalez Erives. Announcement of council, please.
Provoking for the state of Texas.
Mr. Ortiz, are you there? Okay, let's go to Mr. Darnell's cases. Oh, there he is.
I'm right here, Judge.
Busy morning, huh?
Little
On
bit.
Mr. Erives, we're here for final hearing plea deadline. Ms. King, what's the rec?
Your Honor, the rec was to a class A 20 months probation for misdemeanor, but that's declined by Mr. Ortiz.
Oh, okay.
Well, Judge, we're working on the case, Ms. King and I. There's witnesses or a witness that I think just talked to them, and I think they're going to be meeting with the witness that was actually there, that the sheriff's officer, whoever investigated the case, didn't speak to, Your Honor.
Ms. King?
Yes, Your Honor. So Mr. Ortiz did contact me last week and he provided me with information with the witness. The witness also called me. My investigator spoke with the witness. However, I have asked the case agent to actually take a statement with the witness since he's only a Spanish speaker. So that's where we are.
So,
Mr. Ortiz, we're calling your case. Are you ready?
Judge, I'm so sorry. I'm over here with the 210th District Court, Your Honor, right now, Your Honor.
so here's my question.
All right.
Is someone filing a continuance?
Will you be ready?
In like 5 minutes, Your Honor.
All right.
Even sooner.
Sorry about that.
Case, Carlos Mendoza.
Oh, hold on. Let me.
I'm trying to hear it, Mr. Ortiz. Where are you? Where else are
I'm
you?
so sorry. That was the 243rd, Judge. I apologize.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. So my question is this: who's asking for a continuance?
I mean, I guess I can ask for it, Judge, or it could be jointly done. It doesn't. I mean, I think we could take care of this once that witness is interviewed, Your Honor.
Okay.
I think it'll add clarity to the whole case, Your Honor, and hopefully, there'll be a different recommendation. Hopefully, at that point, Your Honor.
Mr. Ortiz, is there anything else outstanding other than this witness?
Well, there is another witness that was there too, but I mean, I think this witness will clear everything up, Judge.
Okay, so what I am going to ask that a continuance be filed because we're set for Thursday. So if you could have whether you're doing it, Mr. Ortiz, Ms. King, if it's agreed.
I'll file it.
Yeah, please file it today. But let me tell you, it's going to be a quick turnaround. It's going to be a reset of June 17th. Okay. Look, if with this new witness, it creates 3 other issues that we need, or you all need to explore, and we need to look at another continuance, I'll consider that. But for now, that's going to be the reset, okay?
That's fine, Judge. I think that's, well, you know, the only thing, Judge, June 17th doesn't really work for me. I'm going to be out of town that weekend. The week of the 14th through that week. Let me look.
Thank you for letting me know. Then probably
yeah, sorry about that, Judge. I just, you know, I just thought about it right now.
Okay.
So I'm going to be probably gone like the 14th through that weekend. And I think that weekend is a holiday on Monday, no?
It might be.
Juneteenth Day. And I think the courthouse is closed on Juneteenth Day.
Okay, so I will look at a future date, but just follow your motion for continuance. Ms. King, are you opposed?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, good to know. Please file it, Mr. Ortiz. Here's the reason I am asking, because there's actually a visiting judge assigned for this trial. So I want to make sure I can tell them.
Got it.
Clear. Thank you, Mr. Ortiz.
Okay, Judge. I'll
Go
file
do
it
what
right
you
now,
guys do.
Judge.
Gracias. Take care.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. All right, Mr. Darnell's cases, please.
Cause number 2020-0D0-1801 and 2019-0D0-6020 and 2019-0D0-6626 and 2019-0D0-6019, State of Texas versus Brandon Ramirez.
Robert King for the State of Texas.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jeep Darnell for Brandon Ramirez.
Good morning. Final hearing plea deadline. I don't remember. Did we get plea papers on this one?
I did, Your Honor. I went out to see him. I kept asking for plea papers, like, please send me these plea papers. I'm going to get plea papers signed for everybody, like Pyong Livingston. I'm just going to spend a week out there signing all these cases up at once. And I got the plea papers like an hour after I left for the jail annex.
Oh, Miss
yeah. And I got out to see, but I figured, okay, this client has mental health problems. I will start the topic with him, make sure we're still on the same page as we were last time. Met with him. This guy, he has been found competent, but I swear to God, he's one of those where it's like day to day. The conversation was out in left field.
You want me to bring him over and see where we are? And if you feel like we're not there, then, you know, we'll have to look at a reevaluation.
Maybe. I hate doing this. I promise I'm not messing with the court on this one. He's just, it's like Jekyll and Hyde. Every time I go see him, I can have a conversation where everything's great. And the next time he looks at me like I have horns in my head, and it just makes it difficult. So
How about Thursday? How busy is your morning, Thursday morning, maybe at like 11:30?
Your Honor, I apparently have an in-person hearing in your court at 10 o'clock.
Oh, well then, an in-person.
I don't know
hearing.
why, but we do.
Let's go find out.
On Gerardo Salas.
Let me look. Does Carla, can you look at that one? My thought would be but I keep getting him confused with the other gentleman that we're working on. Do you have?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
So we have a probation status hearing in person for Gerardo Salas. I can give you a cause number if you'll look at it and tell me why we're in person. But then my thought is a couple of things. He's not in custody, so we can bump that to later because we will have a docket that morning. But then also have Mr.
Ramirez.
Is that at the
Yeah,
same?
Your Honor, I have it, but on Thursday at 10 a.m. in person.
Do your notes, or does maybe even Ms. King, somebody who can remember why he's coming in person?
I don't know why he's in person, but I believe he was reset from the last time when Judge Reyes was visiting. She was covering the docket.
Mhm.
No, the last time we had him, I wasn't prepared. I didn't realize it was on the calendar, and I didn't have news for the court. I didn't know it was being reset to a in-person hearing. I can tell the court he has finished up at UBH with their outpatient program and has been accepted into the 384th TWI drug court.
Mm.
So I don't know if we really need the hearing, but
Did we already? Okay. Okay, so this is the one that I'm thinking of. Okay.
yeah, he's the one with the development, the IDD issue.
Okay. So I think we will need to have a hearing. I don't think it needs to be done in person. However, if you're available, I would like to go ahead and bring Mr. Ramirez in person so that I can have eyes on him and we can have an idea if we can go forward or not.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, is 11 better than 10?
Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna do 11 o'clock on Thursday for an in-person, whatever we had today, final hearing plea deadline.
And then on Mr. Salas, may he begin attending the drug court program, and that while we, in spite of having that hearing?
I don't have a problem with it. I think that's where we're headed. Is that what probation is recommending? Jeep, let me ask Carla to get me a report from probation. And
That,
as soon as I
Judge,
get
that was,
Mhm.
sorry, that was done by Maggie and Christina.
Okay, so let me get that from probation, and yeah, as soon as I get it, if that takes care of everything, we don't need to have a hearing.
Okay.
Okay, muchas gracias.
Thank you,
And
Judge. I'll
thank
see you.
again for all your hard work.
Mr. Darnell. Mr.
Yes.
Darnell, are you also taking care of Torres David?
No, I don't even know who that is. Is that mine? Do I have another one I don't know about today?
I don't know.
No, that's my dad's.
I'm covering that one.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you,
Judge,
Jeep.
Thank you,
Monday.
Judge.
Just clarification then, Mr. Ramirez at 11?
Yeah, but that's, again, it's not an in-person. I mean, we can leave the time the same. It's just gonna be my marker to see that I have everything from probation, or if there's some issue, we can talk about it.
She
So-
said Mr. Ramirez, not Mr. Salas. Mr. Ramirez is the one from
Oh, is
jail.
that what you said?
Yes, Ramirez.
I'm sorry, Ramirez, yes, 11 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Jeep.
Judge. Bye.
Take care. All right. Anybody else who needs to go on the record?
I think that's it, Judge.
Okay, let's get off of you.